Okay, lawn fans, you ready? So let's talk about leveling, but this is not a how-to or a directional video on how to level your lawn. This is not your dad's lawn leveling video. This is my video to tell you guys what not to do when you level your yard, your lawn. So let's go back to last week. Around Tuesday, I had my lawn aerated. I had a plan for this past weekend to do a leveling project, some areas that I needed to have it done in. I called up the local landscaping place and I said, hey, I need 5 tons of sand. 5 tons of sand, Brian, why? Because I'm doing my front entrance of my subdivision and my yard. I was helping the neighborhood out. So I ordered 5 tons of masonry sand. What is that, Brian? It's that white sand that you see people like on a golf course, let's say. Although it's different texture and quality of sand, but it's white sand. It'll fall down into the canopy of the grass. It'll help you to level out the ground a lot more evenly than any other product you could use. Well, Brian, what else can you use to level a yard with? Well, you could use a sand soil mix. That's got more more beneficial properties to it that help the soil. It will break down over time, but it's a mixture of soil and sand. Okay, so what happened? Well, I told the place when I ordered it, masonry sand. I've got the invoice that says masonry sand. I told the place, give me a call, let me know when the guy's here. I'll sign off on everything. I work from home and we'll be good to go. What happened? None of that. So they delivered my sand, and what do you think they delivered? They delivered this right here. Can you guys see that? Let's grab a little bit of this here. Can you see that? Let me show you what this does when you break it up. So a little bit of pressure. That's not fine. Look at that. And on top of that, guess what else came in with the delivery? Well, some little goodies. What are goodies, Brian? These right here. What is that, Brian? That's rocks. Full of rocks. I reel mow. If this joker right here hits my reel mower, its blade is messed up. Possibly done. So, how did I get into this problem? How did I get into this issue? Well, as I told you, they never rang the doorbell. They dropped it in the middle of the driveway. And I've got my daughter's car here, and my wife's car that goes in the garage, and my truck. Can't get in and out of the driveway. I've got a timeline. I'm helping the subdivision up front, helping a buddy down here, helping a buddy next door to me, doing leveling projects on their lawn. So, I've got to get it done. I've got this product here. I'm putting it out on the yard. Well, Brian, why did you put that on our yard knowing there were rocks in it? You couldn't see the rocks at first. I could tell it was clumpy. It had rained a couple days before they delivered it. I thought, well, it's just not dried out. If I put it out on this nice, sunny, almost 90-degree day, it's going to dry out and we'll be good to go. So I put piles all around the front yard. Went to push them over and they didn't want to push. I thought, huh. So then I left them, dried a little bit, pushed. They pushed out, but they left clumps that I'm going to go down here and I'm going to show you what they look like. Now, this is what I called my putting green area. And this is what I've got. It looks almost like a stress fracture in the ground. That's not good. Look at that. See how I just broke that up right there? And I've got this. Well, that's basically what it was like. It was like if you spread peanut butter across a piece of bread, how that is, smooth all the way across. Well, that's how it was, but then when you stepped on it, and I'll do it right here, step on it, it fractures it, and boom, there's what I've got. So Brian, what'd you do to correct that problem? Well, basically you have to come out, you have to brush it in, take a garden rake, rake it, water it in, and let it dry in the heat. Repeat the process. I've done that every day since Saturday, and also by picking up rocks too along the way. So today my yard needed a cut. I've got seed heads popping up. I've got some other issues why I had to get it cut. So I used the rotary mower on the yard, and I could hear that thing banging away on some rocks, y'all. Well, I picked them up as I went, the rocks, tossed them in the woods off to the side, and I just kept going. And right now I'm watering the yard. I don't know if you can pick that up there. I'm watering it in. Down here was an area. Oh, look at that. As I'm walking and talking to you guys, what do I just find? A rock. Now that's not that big, but it's still a rock that could hit my reel. Down here was an area where they came in through and they put some hot fiber optic lines They didn't come through and flatten it out back out like they should have, so it's a low-lying area. And this area was horrible through here. It was just laying on top of it like icing on a cake. So I had to come through and rake all that in with a gardening rake, broom it, water it, let it heat up, until finally I got it down into the canopy. So what do you do to keep yourself from having the same issue, the same problem happen to you? All right, so if you're going to pick up the leveling sand on your own, go to the front counter and say, before I pay for this, I want to go out and I want to inspect it. Then as they're loading it, you stay out there and you inspect it and make sure there's no trash in it, rocks in it, whatever's in it. What I think happened to me is that I believe this is what they call blue rock, and you see that used in a lot of French drain projects, and that's a couple bends down from this sand. I asked for masonry sand. I didn't get that. I got this crappy lumpy sand, and I believe that the bobcat goes back and forth and it gets mixed in all together. So you inspect it. Now, if you order it and you're gonna have it delivered, what do? Well, that's another case. You tell them when it comes, you tell the guy to come to my door, I'm signing off on the bill, do not prepay for it, and you inspect it before you sign off on it, okay? So number one, you inspect while you're there and while it's being loaded. Number two, you don't sign off, you don't prepay anything until it arrives, and you inspect the sand yourself. Unfortunately, I did not do that. I prepaid for it. Another mistake that I made, but I do have a call into the landscaping business. I'm waiting to get a reply from them. As I said, my receipt shows mortar sand, masonry sand, and that's what I should have gotten. So we'll see what happens, but that's just an FYI, let you guys know about my project. Hopefully I'll save you guys a little bit of heartache there. But I guess another thing to re-emphasize is do not try to level with wet sand. Do not try to level with wet sand. Let it sit in your driveway for a few days and dry out, and then do it then. But I hope you guys learn from my mistakes. Bermuda Brian, out.